Let us start now, yeah. A very good morning. Let us start the session for today. A warm welcome to our board masters, Brother Huang, Hualien Dharma team, and brothers and sisters around the globe to Saturday Hualien Dharma Talk. Today, I would like to share a short accepted master's speech. Keep a pure mind, uphold upright conduct. Dear Bodhisattva, whether monastic or lay practitioners, whether young, middle-aged, or elderly, we must all make good use of time. Begin the practice early. You will understand the true value of life early. Do not let time slip by in vain. Cherish every moment of life. Treasure the space for cultivation. Let us encourage one another, inspire one another. Make everyone keep a pure mind and always uphold upright conduct. Be mindful at every moment so that even a second is wasted. So that not even a second is wasted. That is what we gain from spiritual practice. That is to cherish time and value life. 感恩 for Master's teaching. Now let us send our sincere prayers into the 10 directions. May the Sahara land be free from disaster and peace prevails in the world. Let us sing the prayer song with sincere piousness. May all minds be purified. May there be peace in the community. May there be no disasters in this world. Now let us pray together for universal love and blessing. With loving respect, gratitude, and confidence, let us wish every person in our lives a healthy body, an enlightened mind, and a total fulfillment in universal love. Now let us expand this consciousness to include every person in the world, every being in the universe. Let our unified love make this wonderful world even better. Let us all immerse ourselves in the joyful embrace of universal love. Before we hear the wonderful sharing, let us invite our masters to let us in paying homage to Triple Gems. Let us pay our respect for these teachings and explanations to the Buddha and Master Ching by making 3 sincere bows. Please rise, together. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. And a bow to our beloved Abode Masters who could join us. Today we have 3 sharers, Brother Huang on the Dharma Insights, and we have Sister Stephanie who will be sharing on why do we have to eliminate our negative habitual tendencies, and followed by Sister Kim Yan who will be sharing on with great love, hope awakens. Okay, before that, we will invite Sister Ching for the weekly summary. Sister Ching, over to you. 感恩。Sister Ching, we can't hear you. 感恩。
Okay, you guys can hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
And
Okay, thanks so much. My computer microphone. Okay, never mind. So last week at dawn, the ground shook 7.2 fierce and wide. Buildings crumbled, lives lost, fear couldn't hide. 16 souls gone, thousands wounded in that hour. Nature's reminder of her vast, untamed power. In 20 minutes, eight teams gather near. With steady hands, they calmed every fear. Evacuation sites rose through Hualien's dust, moved by purpose, by kindness, by trust. 400 homes touched by the Uranus building's fall. Help came swiftly, no delay at all. 30 doctors stood ready, volunteers took flight to bring the shaken back into light. Master spoke gently, stay humble and true. Treat every home as if it were you. Thousands worked to rebuild what was lost, never counting time, nor fearing the cost. Shelter beds and partitions with care for the tired, the old, the ones in a chair. The Kaohsiung team sang songs to mend broken hearts. Love from afar played its healing part. Earthquakes remind us nothing will stay, so walk with gentleness and compassion each and every day. Okay, then we had Brother Dr. Tek Wee, who spoke about Mother Earth. Hold your breath, just 1 minute, feel the lack. Oxygen, like Earth's love, we often take back. The sea grows empty, forests fall from greed. 91% gone to satisfy wants, not needs. Brother Tek Wee speaks not fatalism but cause and effect. With action or silence, our world we neglect. Buddhism says no creator pulls the strings. Our deeds, not fate, decide what tomorrow brings. Theravada, Mahayana, same root, same core. Compassion and truth in teachings we explore. Is Earth angry or simply sick with pain? Floods and fire, the scientists have explained. Methane from cow burps and fart is a tragedy we confess. 100 trees are needed to neutralize each cow's mess. In the past 10 years, 10 football fields are cleared every minute for meat. What we plant could feed us, very efficient, clean and sweet. CO2 traps warmth like a padded coat. 1 degree rise and the oceans bloat. Microplastics hide in fish we eat. Cancer and illness in every treat. Most recycle, but that's just the start. Refuse and rot must play their part. We can't go back to the beginning, but we can still steer. Today is the day we choose what to draw near. One bee is small, yet swarms make change. Together we heal, reconnect, rearrange. Dr. Tegwee's fridge was once a morgue, now glows with light, rainbows of plants and hope within sight. Excuses are many, taste, doubt, delay, but all can transform if we choose today. We are a part of earth, no separate or above. To live with care is to live with love. We have Brother Benjamin, who spoke about his experience working with refugee communities. Tzi Refugee Schools, have you stepped through that door? Clean halls, bright minds, computers to explore. Teachers who care, volunteers who stay, building young lives in a hopeful way. Brother Benjamin sees the lack and the need, where tables are labs and hunger must feed. He gathers furniture and stationery before they are thrown away and brings them to the schools without delay. Donated chairs, TVs, shelves, and books. He gives what he can, never second looks. Volunteers arrive with tools and cheer to build up hope year after year. With every desk, more children engage. Their quiet focus sets the classroom stage. A kind man builds tables firm and wide, giving students comfort and newfound pride. The children join recycling with joyful hands, turning waste to wonder across the lands. 6 schools strong and growing still. It started with one child and one will. USJ 9 has the little ones in line. Some schools took more than a year, now the students' eyes shine. Recycling brings warmth, love, and cheer. A simple act brings the distant near. Now students train to speak, to lead, to share what they have learned, to plant many, many seeds. The students may be far from their native land, but here they rise with hearts that stand. Okay, Kan'en for listening. I'll stop share right now. Hand over to Brother Robert to introduce our next speakers. Over to you, Brother Robert.
Good morning, dear brothers and sisters. A very warm welcome to our Saturday Hualien session. With a heart of full of gratitude, I'd like to thank our ever-dedicated Sister Lily for the beautiful and thoughtful opening using Master's inspiring, insightful speech. Truly a lovely way to start our session. And of course, a big kan'en to Sister Ching for her splendid poetic summary, so eloquent and full of heart. Your words never fail to move and inspire us, Sister Ching. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let us begin the session. I still vividly remember Brother Joe's sharing 5 years ago on 31st May 2020 during one of our Diligence Day. He reminded us that while it's already rare and precious to encounter the Dharma, truly understanding and comprehending it is even tougher. So one question that he often poses to himself, and actually I think he wants to pose this question to us to continue to resonate deeply, is: have we grown wiser each day? And now it's my honor to invite Brother Joe Huang to nourish us with another powerful dose of Dharma diet. The floor is yours, Brother Joe.
Thank you, Brother Robert. Dating back to 2020. Wow, that's, thank you for digging that up. And thank you for reminding me, to remind everybody else that are we gaining? Are we growing? I believe so. I believe that as we are accumulating the experience, if we put our mind to it, Master always says we have to be mindful, be mindful. And if we are being mindful, then we will be able to grow, whether it's in a particular area, whether it's accumulation of the experience of life or the accumulation of our awakened wisdom. There are going to be accumulation. However, at the same time, we are also accumulating these afflictions. And I think that's where we need, these particular ways for us to get rid of them. And that's very difficult. But Master gave us this wonderful environment, the environment where we are always in the group with good people. Now, good people doesn't mean that they are not afflicted. Good people doesn't mean that they don't have the bad habitual tendencies, right? The negative ones, like Sister Lily mentioned, that we know that existed, and we know that we're facing them every day. But good people together allow us to do good things. But if we're only doing good things, that's not enough. It's not enough. You could do all the good things in the world, but you are still very much afflicted in that you're still thinking, well, why does he get all the recognition and I didn't? Why does he, say all the things that he did, but I did much more, but I didn't say anything, and nobody wants me to say anything. And everybody is asking him to share. This is when these things happen. You could be giving all of yourself, but you're still going to be very much afflicted. And so that's where the Dharma comes in. It's not enough to just do, but you have to have Dharma to coincide. It's not enough to have the Dharma. You have to do as well. Otherwise, it would just be all theory. That's where Master gave us this Dharma door, where it allows us to do this. And thank you for bringing me back to 5 years ago. And I remember 5 years ago, that's when the pandemic, really hit. And that's when a lot of things changed. Many things became online. Many things, the online community becomes even more robust. More people are now opening up and sharing more. And I think that's a good thing. But it also means that we cherish just a little bit less because it comes so easily now. And that's just the way people are. I'm not going to blame people for doing that, because I am doing that myself. I am like that myself. Sometimes you feel it's so easy, right? It's at your fingertips. But always reminding each of us, and I thank Robert for that, always reminding us. And thank you for, not just reminding us of what happened 5 years ago, but always be so supportive of all the things that's happening. Thank you. Now, moving on to today's sharing. Thank you, brother, and thank you, everybody. Apologize that last week because I was on a trip, so I couldn't be online to share. But continuing on to the Sutra of Infinite Meanings. So previously, we're now towards the end of chapter 1. And last time we talked about taking refuge in the Dharma body and the form body. What does that mean? I think, first of all, it's important that we know that all Buddhas manifest 3 bodies. There is the Dharma body, there is the reward body, and then there is the form body, or the transformation body. And so the way that I see this is that the triple jewels, the triple gem of the Buddhism, which is the Buddha, the founder, the person, the teacher, the original teacher, the Dharma, what the teacher teaches, the Sangha, the students of the teacher who eventually become the teacher. So these are the 3 parts. Without these 3 parts, there wouldn't be Buddhism, right? Without Buddha, well, there's no founder. You wouldn't be founded. Without the Dharma, you had the founder, but what are you teaching? Without the Sangha, you have the founder, you have the teacher, you have the teaching material, but nobody to pass it on. Then it will be lost years and years and years later. So all these 3 parts are very essential to the longevity and the survival of the Buddhist teaching. And therefore, these are called the triple gem, or the triple jewels of Buddhism. And I also believe that these triple gem, or the triple jewel, are exactly the same as the 3 bodies that all Buddhas manifest: the Dharma body, the reward body, and the form body. So this is what I believe, that the Buddha, what we know of the Buddha, nobody has seen him, right? Buddha was here, walked the earth 2,500 years ago. Now, there are drawings of the Buddha that was left from ages past, but it was actually not the drawing. For now, I don't think there is any way for us to verify what he looked like, how tall he was, you know, how the complexion and all the things, the features, we don't know. The Dharma we know are passed down from ages past. The Sangha were the people that carry on this torch. They're the ones that are responsible to make sure that it gets passed on. But how do the three bodies correspond to each of the triple gem? Well, I believe that the reward body, what is the reward body? The reward body actually means that this is something that comes as a result, the result body. And the result of what? The result of ages and ages, lifetime of practice, of cultivation, of helping, forming good affinity with all sentient beings, of helping and transmitting all the sentient beings to the much better land, much better life. So after all the ages of doing such, you get the result, you get the reward. The reward is such that everybody sees you, everybody sees the Buddha, and they grew this tendency to like him because of good affinity. Sometimes you walk on the street, you see somebody that you just don't know why, but you are drawn to them. You like them. You hear them talk. You never hear them. You never know them before, but you hear them talk, and there is a certain affinity that you have toward them. You like them. That's because in the past, there's good affinity. So I believe the Buddha that we know, that walked the earth 2,500 years ago, was exactly what this was. He had cultivated, practiced this path, Bodhisattva path, for ages and ages and ages, formed very good affinity with all the people and all the sentient beings that he had helped, while he was a human form, while he was in animal form, while he was in hell. Every realm that he walked, he formed good affinity with the sentient beings there in an attempt to try to help them. Therefore, the lifetime where Buddha became enlightened, Shakyamuni became enlightened as the Buddha, as the awakened Buddha of that age. That image was the result of all the work that was done in the past. Therefore, it's called the reward body. The Dharma itself is the teaching. The teaching itself isn't something that is square or round, fat or short or thin or exactly or tall. It's not exactly taking a form, but it also has a body. The body itself, for example, in Chiji, what is the body of our Dharma lineage? It's very straightforward. Very straightforward. Master wants us to go into the people and then improve their lives, whether it's spiritually, whether it's mentally, whether it's physically. That's what we do. We better people's lives through spiritual cultivation, through compassion relief, through all these things, through our foreign missions. That's what we do. So we, even though the idea, the concept of Dharma, it's not something that you can carve out a shape, but you know what it is, and that's the body, that's the essence, right? In Tzu Chi, that's the essence. Our Dharma door for our Tzu Chi school, the Dharma thought, the Dharma door is going to the people and improve their lives through what we can, right? Spiritually, mentally, physically, through their life, living, through everything. We're trying to help them. That's the body, right? And this path will be very difficult. Going to the people will be very difficult. It's full with challenges. So what do? We have these remedies to help us get through. For example, we have to be content. We have to be grateful, gratitude. Then we have to accommodate, right? All these are the things that Master gave us as nutrients so that we can continue this long journey of very, very difficult work. Sangha. This is the community of people that represent the Buddha. They show and appear in the form that is similar to what the Buddha was. With a shaved head, they dress, they don the robe, and then they teach what the Buddha taught us, because Buddha isn't with us now. So we need somebody to be representing the Buddha, to show us in this image of the Buddha, where we can raise this understanding within us to learn. So that's the form body. Okay. Now, in section 11, it covers, right? So it's actually a lot more than that, right? Taking refuge in the Dharma body and the form body. And you know, this, so I went through the sutra itself, and we can see that in the Sutra of Infinite Meanings, there's many things that, you know, we are talking about the taking refuge, the part about taking refuge. So let me go a little bit further about what taking refuge means. It means that if our life is similar to, you know, rowing a boat in the ocean, and the ocean is going to be not always calm waters. Sometimes you're going to have wind. Sometimes you're going to have a lot of rain, storms. So when there are rains and storms and wind, what do? You need to take refuge. You need to seek places so that you could actually be safe harbor, right? So you usually dock your boat, your ship in a harbor where there are actually docks, there are actually establishments that will prevent the waves or all the storms from damaging all the boats. Now, even though, you know, if the storm gets too hard, none of the dock is going to help you, right? But that's what taking refuge means, that there is something that will help you, shelter you. But it doesn't mean that it will always completely block you from all the harm. It's just there. You can rely on it, but it might not be 100%. So that's taking refuge. We are going to be facing challenges in our lifetime. We are going to be facing a lot of issues and problems. So taking refuge in the Dharma body and the form body means that we know we seek help from the Dharma. We seek help from the Sangha. And in essence, we seek help in the Buddha. We seek refuge in the Buddha's teaching. And you have to do that through the respectful attitude, right? And it's going to transform us and protect us as we take refuge. So now let's continue to talk about what this all means. In the sutra, it talks about the Dharma body, right? The Four Noble Truths, the 12 links, the 6 paramitas. These are some of the main pillars that form what's called the Dharma, and therefore the Dharma body, right? The body of Dharma. Now, if you talk about what does a human being look like, you're going to say it's going to have a head, it's going to have a body, and 4 limbs. This is what we talk about. Same thing. When we talk about the Dharma, what is the body? The thing that represents the things that we see can be identified as what the Dharma is. Then we're going to talk about the Four Noble Truths, the 12 links, the 12 cyclic links, and the 6 paramitas. Now you could say more. You could say there's actually a lot more than that, right? It's actually the four infinite, the 4 infinite mind. There's a lot more things you can say about what it is, what the Dharma body is. But in the Sutra of Infinite Meanings, the Buddha actually identified the Four Noble Truths, the 12 links, 6 paramitas, right? And I really believe that this sort of forms the outer shape of the Dharma. You could go more deeper, just like you can do with a person, right? You can say you have a head, a body with 4 limbs. You can go deeper. You have a head, and on the face, you have 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth, and 2 ears. And on top, there are supposed to be hair, and the hair could be of any color, right? So you could go deeper than that. You could go more in detail. But from the outside, when I see a person from afar, you are probably going to see a head, a body, and 4 limbs. But you come closer, you could see what's on your face, what's on your head, And then there are different features that you have in your body, the torso, and your arms and legs. That's just when you go in more detail. That's the Dharma body. And so what is the reward body? We talked about what you get from the effort you put in. The Buddha was put in all the effort, lifetime after lifetime. The effort of trying to help, trying to transform the sentient beings, trying to help through individual cultivation, as well as going to the people, going to the sentient beings and try to help them. Throughout ages of this effort, you're going to get the result. The result is everybody is going to like you. Everybody is going to feel affinity towards you. Just like if you're doing nothing but bad things to all the living beings, if you've been eating their lives, if you've been eating their bodies, then there isn't going to be a very good affinity towards you, whether this lifetime or the next lifetime. So the reward or the result is what you get from all the effort you put in. It could be positive effort or it could be negative effort. So this is something that we should all be very aware of. You achieving different levels of cultivation, then you would get this reward where everybody looks at you and they like you. Everybody looks at you and they are feeling drawn to you. That's the reward. So I really believe that the Buddha was able to walk the earth with such good affinity with all the sentient beings because he had gone through life after life of helping these living beings, sentient beings. Does that mean that there is no problem? No, it doesn't. Because there are always going to be those where he didn't reach. And that's where there's going to be people with negative affinities, people with zero affinity, or people with negative affinity. That's all going to happen. So, in other words, what I'm trying to say is the reward body is what we get. It could be a reward, or it could be a penalty or a punishment. But whatever it is, you have to believe in this. Believe in the reward body, because this is actually cause and effect. What you have done, accumulated in the past, is going to show up as a result or reward. And for the Buddha, he had done the good things life after life after life. Therefore, there will be a reward. However, he also shared his past stories where he had done things this way or that way that might not be the best. And therefore, it shows up in this lifetime as part of his result as well. So what this is trying to tell us is that we have to take refuge in knowing that the cause and effect is really the truth in our lifetimes, in our life. So from the sutra text, right? We could tell, right? We could tell that the reward, from the left, you can see some display spiritual powers as they jump up and fly, or freely go in and out of water or fire, right? It could seem like, oh my goodness, what does that mean to be able to go in fire and water? What does that mean? Well, it means that on its surface, but it actually means more, right? Water or fire means different types of calamities or disasters. But because these people are really, really much determined that they are able to have these seemingly super spiritual powers, they're able to go in and out of these disasters at will. And this is something that because they did this, because they were in the past, they were committed themselves to doing this. Therefore, they're now getting this reward, getting this result that they're able to do this. Imagine this, right? That you put in the vow, you say, I want to do what I can to help the people. Well, eventually, you're going to develop skills. You're going to develop powers where you didn't have before, and you're able to help others. One of the things that I'm very admiring, that I admire a lot, is that somebody like Sister Ching. We know that she, at very beginning, right? 2015 was the year I met her. 2015, she couldn't understand Chinese, so she had to sort of learn on the go. She can read the captions. But when you have the vow to say, I want to learn, I want to be able to learn to speak, to read, to be able to understand the language. You eventually, throughout these 10 years, you could see the transformation. You could see the change. That is the spiritual, the superpowers that now she's able to do this. And I'm sure our team that goes to Nepal or India, they had the vow, they made the vow of freely going in, out of this place where it's full of people that need help, full of work, full of the compassionate work that we need to do. Now, why is it them? Why is it not me? Because they made the vow, and now they have these spiritual powers to accomplish that vow, to accomplish these. So that's the reward. You get this from the efforts you put in, from the vows you put in, from the thoughts that you put in. If you didn't put in enough, the result isn't going to come out as something that you could visually see. And the form body, right? This is, I think, one of the most important concepts. It's also called a transformation, the transformation body. What does that mean? It's the preferred form of the sentient beings, right? So when the Buddha was trying to form good affinity with all the people, with all the sentient beings, or trying to helping them, right? How do you help them? How do you help them? You help them in the way that they can accept. So that's the preferred way. So when you need it, when you pray for something, you pray for good health, maybe something that the Bodhisattva coming to help you is going to come in the form of a doctor. If you need to be saved from fire, then the Bodhisattva that comes will be in the form of the firefighter. That's what it means, right? At this particular moment, what can you do to help them? The best that will be able to best help them. It could be in the form of a teacher. It could be in the form of an animal, a dog, a bird. It could always be in any form, as long as what's the preferred form, what they needed, right? So I really believe that the form body is probably the most important. It's not the reward body, because nobody sees the Buddha. We don't even know how the reward body looks like. But the Buddha walks among us, showing the form that we needed to see, showing the form that we will need to see in order for us to learn, in order for us to gain this wisdom, to overcome our difficulties and challenges. That's form body. So the Sangha could be the forms, the transformation form of the Buddha. Your friends, your parents could all be the transformation body of the Buddha. They're here to help you. Maybe not all the time. Maybe this particular moment you need them, and the Buddha is going to show up in the form of somebody you knew, maybe in your dream. Maybe it's just somehow another person shows up and talks to you, and then you get it. Okay, that's the form body. So that's important, right? Because without this form body, you wouldn't be able to really learn. You only learn this because you're able to accept. It's just like the Buddha. If the Buddha is going to teach me, it would have to be in Chinese or English. If you speak to me in the original tongue, I will not understand. So even though the Buddha might have this wonderful affinity, I see the Buddha and I'm drawn to him. But if I can understand what he says, it's not going to help me. So the preferred form of the sentient beings might not be the same. For somebody with the sophistication of a PhD, you're not going to be able to just tell him something simple and he's going to get it and say, I believe you, I have faith in you. You're going to have to say something that is going to be more, right? So that's the form body, okay? So anyway, so now we're towards the end of section 11, which is the final part of chapter 1, virtues. In the Sutra of Infinite Meaning, it's slowly taking us to the next part, where we are, I believe, we are the Buddha's transformation body, a bodhisattva whom the Buddha has transformed. We are going to need to carry on this teaching. We are going to be in the image of the Buddha. We are going to represent the Buddha because we are the transformation body. And we are going to act as somebody who can help, who can be like the Buddha to help all the sentient beings. And that's what it means. Okay, so this means that we must aim to become the great guiding teacher. So this is where the focus of the Sutra of Infinite Meaning is. That it's not good enough that we are just students, good students, but we have to be great students to become great guiding teachers. That's the way that we can repay the kindness from the Buddha. That's the way that we can carry on this wisdom and teaching that is so necessary for all the sentient beings to overcome their difficulties. So that's today, the sharing for today. And I thank you. I thank for all the sharers. You are all transformation body of the Buddha. You're sharing your stories. You're sharing your wisdoms. Collectively, we are all learning from the Dharma body, from the Dharma. And hopefully one day, we will all ourselves gain that reward body from all the work that we put in. So that when people see us, we have the wisdom, we have the compassion, we have the ability for all the people. Thank you and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.
What an incredibly inspiring and deeply enlightening session again, Brother Joe. As you have beautifully put it before, another added day of gratefulness. Your sharing continue to be a guiding light for our English-speaking community, delivering wisdom and clarity, touching hearts with sincerity. Deepest garden, Brother Joe, for your wisdom and your dedication. Now, may I invite everyone to turn on your video so that we can capture a wonderful group photo with Brother Joe. Yeah, everyone, please. And Sister Lily, can you, or Sister Effie, hi everyone. Yeah, please on your video as we, take the video, take the photo. At the same time, of course, I think a good reminder from Brother Joe, this Sister Siu Ching's relentless, dedication and unwavering determination. Without her, this determination, none of us would be here today. Really, her heartfelt intention to spread Dharma's teaching in English is not only admirable but deeply inspiring. Yeah, a true testament of a perseverance. Sister Siu Ching.
Actually, everyone, our master and Brother Joe Huang as our great guide on this platform.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Done? Okay.
taken already.
Okay, Kanan.
And
Okay, up next, we have someone who wears many crowns, but the one that truly shines in her title is the queen of the education mission in our English group. Charming, committed, and always ready with a smile. Let us welcome our beloved volunteer, Sister Stephanie.
Thank so much, Brother Robert. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. A very good morning to Abot Master, Abot Master, and all the brothers and sisters in the Dharma. So much. It's very good to be back. And please allow me to share my PowerPoint. Just give me a moment. I need to share the video, the sound as well. Can you see the PowerPoint, brother?
Yes, can.
Okay. All right. And everyone. Okay. So yeah, I'm mindful of the time. I have half an hour. So okay, I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to share with everyone today. The topic is why must we eliminate our habitual tendencies? Actually, this title came about because I was reflecting on a lot of things that has been happening in my surrounding this year, early part of the year. And this made me ponder about it and wonder why Master always say spiritual cultivation is all about cultivating, or eliminating our habitual tendencies. So, but before I go into the subject, maybe just share a little video that I find may be able to put some point for us to ponder. For example, this is a little boy. He's about 5 years old. He only started learning the piano within the year, and he was able, to play the piano so wonderfully. Yeah. So a lot of people may say that, wow, such a genius, wow, so talented. So, but what is the Buddhistic approach to this? Yeah, whether it's a genius or talent, or in our Tzu world, we have our 一年小菩萨, right? 一年 is only about 3 years old when they discover that because he's following the mother to go to a boat, to go to activities, and then they realize that actually, hey, he can chant the sutra of infinite meaning without referring, just from memory. Or just have a look at 一年. And he can repeat master's teachings. Yeah. Although I don't know what he's talking about, but I realize, but I think it must be something that is that he has actually recalled from his past, right? So this we believe actually, of course, is the fruit, from their continuous practice over lifetimes that have left imprints, in their consciousness, especially like what we know of is in the eighth consciousness, right? So when the conditions are ripen, and it will sprout out again, right? So Master has always reminded us, even the Buddha say that the mind and sentient beings and Buddha all are equal in their intrinsic nature. It is just that we sentient beings, because we have transmigrated so many lifetimes, I'm sure all of you know, right? This fact that because of that, we have gathered through don't know whatever realms we have been to, a lot of ignorance, a lot of afflictions, and a lot of habitual tendencies like this that actually encrust or cloud, our true intrinsic nature, which is actually very bright, like the Buddhas, right? So that's why Master says this, that spiritual practice is about eliminating habitual tendency. It's not really like what Brother Joe said just now. It's not about how much you know. It's not about how much you do. It is not enough. It is really not enough just doing, right? We really have to continue to eliminate these tendencies that bind us to our karmic patterns that we will bring to the lifetimes in the future. So what is habitual tendency? Very quickly, habitual tendency, or what in Chinese we say 习气, right? Are these deeply ingrained patterns of our thoughts, our words, and our actions that is acquired over many, many, many lifetimes. And this consciousness actually clings to a notion of self, okay? A notion of self, and therefore it acts, in a very self-cherishing manner, which is that is accordance with the ego self, right? So, and therefore this self-cherishing consciousness always, if we are not mindful, it always actually judge things or evaluate things based on the me, the mind, and the I, all right? Based on something that is a lot of times is gain and loss, likes and dislikes, and all our preferences. And if we're not careful, because if it's based on the I, so there's a lot of times it is clouded. It is not a selfless intention, right? Even though it's a good action. So therefore, it actually influences our karma and of course our rebirth. So I just want to share these words of wisdom from Lao Tzu. It says, we therefore must really always watch our thoughts, because our thoughts become our words. We must watch our words because they become our actions. We must watch our actions because they become our habits. And we must know, and watch our habits because it will become our character and that it will form our destiny. So it always starts with watching our thoughts. Is our thoughts always revolving around this me, mine, and I? Because if it is, then that is from our habitual tendencies. Okay, hold on a while. So just to quickly run through, I'm sure a lot of brothers and sisters know this, the 9 consciousness. The first 6 consciousness actually is it's how we deal with the world around us, right? The first 5 is the sensory root, which can perceive the external phenomenon, and the 6 is the mind, the thinking mind that help us discern what is right, what is wrong. But what is more subtle and not so conscious is actually the 7 consciousness, which is where the habitual tendency reside. And this is where it has this ego, right? And a lot of times people say this is our character, right? Because it is from our habit that our character is formed. And of course, then the karmic storehouse of the 8th consciousness and the 9th consciousness of the pure, undefiled Buddha nature. So if we look at where the 7 consciousness reside, it actually clings on very closely to the 8th consciousness. And as what Brother Chin shared with us, when all these dies, right? When we die, the mind goes, right? And the 7th consciousness actually will fall into the 8th consciousness. Yeah, and we will carry it into our next life. So that's why Master says that if we do not refine our character by, cultivate good habitual tendency, we may be cultivating a lot of blessings, like what Brother Joe said just now, but the practice will still be imperfect. So I just recall a story that Master shared about this story. I'm sure some of you have heard this story, the king who became a python. I'm not going to play the video because of time, but basically it's about this king called King Agnidatta. King Agnidatta is actually a very great benefactor of the Buddha during the Buddha's time. He made a lot of offerings to the Sangha, and he's also do a lot of kind deeds. But somehow, King Agnidatta was reborn, as a python. But he had a good blessing to meet with a monk because he find that why he cannot believe why he was born as a python. Even the monk cannot believe because he said, but you did so many good deeds, right? So he said, yeah, but then finally, the monk actually told him, because although he did a lot of blessings, he did not seek the Dharma. So he did not actually transform. Yeah, he got a lot of blessing, but his wisdom life did not grow. Right? What happened was that, he became a python because when he was very ill and on his deathbed, right, dying already, and the servants were gathering around him and fanning him. But one of the servants accidentally dropped the fan on his face. And at that point of time, he became enraged. And at that point of time of great anger, he passed away. And that was why he actually ended up in the lower realm. So Master says, right, when we harbor anger, these are habitual tendency will come, because the mind is already going off already, right? And that was why at his passing, the king was reborn as a python. So in this episode 1544, just an excerpt, Master say, habitual tendencies, if we do not examine it and we do not transform it, it will really deepen our reactivity, right? And also the ignorance that we carry forth to our next life. Therefore, we must seek or must strive to cultivate daily. Just like Master says, it's a never-ending effort of daily cultivation. So I want to recall what Brother Chin also guided us, that daily we must do self-analysis so that we see ourselves clearly and reflect upon ourselves in our daily dealings with people, matters, and objects, so that we know ourselves, where our habitual tendencies are lurking or hiding. Really go very deeply to reflect, even though things that we say and do may seem like very virtuous or very noble, but what is hiding behind that? Yeah, and this very interesting journey actually. And once we see it, we can repent for it seriously, repent to the mistake so that we can do the self-correction. And it's very important because I find that because of my own personal experience during a time that I was depressed, really the mind is really, at that time, the mind is like compromised, like having a virus inside. But therefore, the mind is really very impermanent. So we really must train it while it is healthy and alert. Recently, in this year, I have the experience of because a lot of people around me, their parents are getting older, and a few of them have this Alzheimer's. So this Alzheimer's, if I may, I'm not medical, but I try to just understand it. Is a degenerative brain disease caused by the brain cells damage. So we look here at the brain image, right? So this is a healthy brain, but then here there is atrophy. Yeah, you can see the shape. Yeah, is different, is changing, and even have holes in it. So this will lead to dementia symptom that will gradually worsen over time, as we have noticed, right? And the symptom that is very common is, firstly, don't get panic. I think a lot of us have this trouble remembering information, especially new information, because they have no trouble remembering past information, because the new information is where it is attacked first. Yeah, it is the first part that is affected first. All right. So what is going to happen over time is that we see that as the disease progress, there will be memory loss. Yeah, I have a lot of memory loss. Actually, I cannot remember a lot of things. That's why I'm very concerned about this mind. That we have to cultivate when the mind is alert and healthy. So we'll find that there are language difficulties. I struggle to find words, really. I think some of us do, and difficulty speaking, swallowing, walking, trouble with thinking, reasoning, or even judgment. Sometimes we have a lot of doubts, and to make decision also quite difficult, isn't it? And therefore, confusion will take over. And in time, you will see behavioral changes. So it's not about forgetting where you put your key, not about forgetting words and all that. So, and we look at it, is this a risk factor for people who are aging? Yeah, most common in people over 65. But of course, in city where you can see, this is not the normal part. It's not, yeah. We can see a lot, because like our sister Kim Yan, even though she is a senior already, she's way more alert than many of us. Now, why I want to bring this up is because, okay, recently I have some examples, maybe like real life examples of these three person. Yeah. So in these three example, one of it is this 80 over year old woman. Okay, she practices, yeah, she like to do chanting, she like to do Kopi Sutra, she do a lot of good deeds and all that. But as this Alzheimer's start to step in, we can see she become very challenging to the family. Even though she was previously like to do chanting, Kopi Sutra, but you can see that, she even want to make her family member copy sutra, but while they are copying, she will get angry and scold them for not copying fast enough, for not copying, So there are good seeds, but there are also bad seeds, unwholesome seeds inside, the consciousness and in the habitual tendency that make it like a tug of war. Yeah. So meaning, the mind or the conscious mind or thinking mind is deteriorating already because it's attacked by this disease, but the habitual tendency still continue to remain. And then especially there's one who's a male, he's 80 over years old. In the past, he liked to gamble. He actually still also like to gamble, but the family members have to control him. But even as his brain is atrophied by this Alzheimer's, right? He will really, scold his and make scold his family members, bringing them a lot of mental affliction also. And he keep insisting, they stole his money. He wants to go to the casino. He wants to win big. In fact, he will win big. Where is my money? You all stole my money. So it really makes the family members having a lot of affliction, and also very 很不舍 lah, very unbearable to see old people coming to that state in the final stages of their life. And there was one woman who actually, she just remembered the past. You know, she told me, I'm 35 years old. You're 52 years old. At that time, I was 52 lah. You're 52. I'm only 35. You know, and when she go and see the doctor, she will tell the doctor, she said, you know, that doctor, very handsome. I really like him. I want to marry him. But the husband already passed away very long time already. So she keep insisting she want to go to the registrar of marriage, you know, the doctor is waiting there for her, you know, and she said, if you don't bring me, I will go there by myself. So yeah, we see these real life cases. That's why it made me ponder about why Master say spiritual cultivation is about cultivating or eliminating our habitual tendency. Because if not, they will come up when the mind or the sixth consciousness is gone. At this point of time, I want to share, I want to bring another real life example, which is my mom. Yeah. Madam Tan Yok Moy. This is her when she was 17 in a secondary school. And she was a nurse, as you all know. She was a medical midwife. I think some of you have heard this sharing before. And all her life, now she was very committed. And through all her, whether it's her work or at home, I see what I can remember of my mother. These are the character or the attributes. Okay, she always put others above her. So I can always see that when we were young, when we are at home, in our small kampong or our small town, Kajang, she's known as Missy Tan. Every time got people come and say, Missy Tan, my daughter-in-law, the baby, not latching, I don't know how to bathe the baby. She will just drop everything, and then she will take her bicycle and run over, cycle over, you know. So and everybody always telling me how good my mom is. I always see at home or always it's about responsibility. She always carry out responsibility first, never about herself, what she want to indulge or enjoy. And one thing is, I never heard my mom complain. Even though we grew up with very little and she had to work very hard, she never complained. I never heard her complain before. I can tell you that. And I never see my mom waste time. She never watch TV. Because she's so busy, whenever she's free, she will read the newspaper and then she will tell us what happened in the newspaper. Okay. And she sometimes will fall asleep while reading the newspaper. She never sit down to watch TV with us. She's always busy. She got a full-time job and she also has her part-time job, sort of that earn a little bit more money. So for me, growing up, okay, one more thing. Jam already. Sorry, I stopped share for a while. Okay. Okay, she's also very brave. Yeah, she's not afraid of anything. Creepy crawlies, she also not afraid of ghosts. The only thing she's afraid of, she say, is bad people. She say, okay. So for me, my mother's, if there's a motto for my mother, what I see, my mom is always be kind, have courage. That's all. Yeah, this is her motto. So in 2008, I'm very grateful I was able, because of my home brother, able to bring my mother and my mother-in-law, both already pass on to Hualien for the entrepreneur group camp. Yeah, and during that time, at the visit to the Hualien Tzu Hospital, actually my mom made a silent vow, whom we don't know of until years later, until 2012. So what was the vow that she made? Actually, it was made in the Tzu Hospital. She saw the silent mentor program. Yeah, and Master say, and she saw this, Master say the greatest suffering in life is illness. Truly, it is. And we have seen that around us, right? If doctors can save more life by learning from donated bodies, our donated bodies, really that would be of great worth. So I think silently, my mother kept on this one and she said she wanted to be a silent mentor. And that happened in 2012 when she saw the silent mentor come to UMMC. So it's in the newspaper, right? I told her she always read newspaper and she came to tell us, this is what I want. This is what I want. So we had to go and find out about it, and all three of us signed up. Of course, she met a lot of obstacles from my father, but she said to my home brother, you go and team them lah, okay? Which my home brother did lah. So very grateful lah. Three of us signed up for silent mentor with my mom. So at that time, after that, I remember my mom's physical condition start to deteriorate. Okay, she had this atrophy of the trachea and the windpipes, the foot pipes and the windpipes. Okay, and it's very difficult because she cannot really swallow, and at night she have to rely on the oxygen machine to breathe. Yeah, and she sometimes will vomit. She cannot talk a lot. And most of the time she eat already, then she go and vomit. All right, so there's a lot of suffering I can see, but never once, and this my father said one, never once, even she's with my father, sleeping with my father say she never even sigh. Hiya, never. Unlike us, hiya, daddy, hiya, this, hiya, that, never. And my mom always tell me, my body, she has very clear understanding and faith in the karma law, the universal law. My body suffered due to what I did in the past, which is I always slaughter the chicken, right? I say, yeah, and I'm part of it. I have to hold the bowl, right? I always slaughter the chicken. That's why now I have to suffer this, right? So I willingly accept all these are my karmic retribution. So it really made me think about what Master said, willing to do, happy to bear, then you get discount lah. Not willing, tambah lah, you get interest rate, right? So I can see this embodiment of by this Dharma by my mom. So 2 months before her passing, because she comes to my house very often, almost every weekend, we'll bring her over with my dad. 2 months before her passing, she had a lot of difficulty. She always said she want to be a midwife, going to serve the poor and the outskirt, those that cannot afford to come to the hospital. But 2 months before that, she told me, hey, Lenga, I tell you, I think I want to become doctor. I don't want to become midwife. So when I asked her, why you want to become doctor, mommy? Then she said, so that I think doctor can save more people. Midwife, very limited. Okay, doctor can have hospital or can work hospital, can save many people. So I said, sure, mom, I'm sure you will become a doctor in your next life because you are going to be a teacher to doctors. Okay, just very quickly to do this. This is her last birthday with us in 2015. She shared the same birthday with my son, so that's why we always celebrate it together. This is my mama, few days before she passed on. So beautiful, right? She still looks so beautiful to me. So just to give a little bit of timeline. After celebrating birthday on Monday, I sent her home. And then on Tuesday, my papa told me she stopped eating. She stopped eating. She just drink a little bit of water. She lie down in the bed with her beads, And then she was not talking so much. And on the Wednesday, she asked my papa to give her a hot bath and scrub. She stopped eating already and just a little bit of drinking. So on the 26th, I still on Thursday, and she's still like that. I told myself I really have to go to see her, and I went to see her. And then I saw her lying down on the bed, with her beads. Yeah, and the moment I went there, she just tapped on my shoulder. She didn't say anything. She just tapped on my chest and asked me like, don't worry, yeah. So I chanted with her the Heart Sutra. That's the only sutra I know by memory. So we chant together, and I gave her some water by using the spoon. My brother had already called for the ambulance, but before she went on to the ambulance, she just told me in sign language, here, no do. Here, no do. Okay, means please, no operation. Why? Because, oh, sorry, I missed out this one. Actually, the doctor has told her that she has to go for tracheostomy, to puncture a hole so that she can breathe and eat. She can breathe. But she very jokingly told the doctor, sorry, I'm not old enough. Well, I'll do it when I'm 80 lah, okay? So you see, she told me, in using sign language that here, don't do before carry on into. Because later on we found out, right? She had a wish. And this one, when they come to the home visit, right? The silent mentor team, her wish is that she want to preserve her body and donate her body as perfect as possible for medical research. Perfect as possible. Yeah, this is my mama's last wish. And truly, this is the inconceivable thing that happened on that day. Professor Chin, he is not Brother YK Chin, Professor Chin, this is the director of the program. He came and told me, on that day, we are going to have extra lesson. Extra lesson in what? he said, we're going to have extra lesson in tracheostomy, emergency tracheostomy. I was so shocked because he said the cadaver, my mother's body, was very suitable for a emergency tracheostomy. So if my mother has gone through the tracheostomy process, it wouldn't be available. So this shows that the great vow is really very amazing, inconceivable. And Prof. Ching come and tell me, Stephanie, he still remember, he rushed to me and said, your mama's body is soft. I didn't know what it means. So I asked him what it means. He says, it means the person at the time of death has no fear, no attachment, totally letting go. I was really very glad to hear that. Yeah, because the Sutra of Infinite Meanings in the third chapter, third merit say, although they have us, I always remember my mother when I first read the sutra, I cried. I read this sutra, this merit, I recall my mom. First thing that came to mind, although they have afflictions, they carry on as if they had no afflictions. Even though they face life and death, they have no thoughts of fear. As they face all sentient beings, they give rise to sympathy and compassion. As they face all phenomena, they give rise to courage and fortitude. And indeed, that was manifested in my mother's silent mental process. And even after her passing, we had the, what do you call that? COVID later on, 5 years later. This is my hairdresser. I know her because of my mother, I would say. Because after the COVID, right, we all have our hair all very nice, right, very long, very bushy. So I decided I need a haircut. But at that time, my WhatsApp is my mother's photo with my father. So loving, always very loving. So I say I want to cut hair. Then she agreed to let me cut. Then when I came here, she said, hello, you look different, Either that's your mother, is it? I say, yeah. Usually I don't take new customers, yeah. But I took it because I thought you are a senior citizen. So when we were talking, and I don't know, always we talk, or things will come to Tzu Chi. She say, I let go a lot of things. I see your house is very zen. She say, yeah, I'm learning to let go. Then suddenly I say, have you thought about letting go of your body too? Then to my surprise, this newly met hairdresser, Mimi, say, I am looking for that. How come you know? I'm really looking for that. I think my mother sent me lah. So very quickly, I think during the when we were able to go out, she wanted to sign up, and I took her to the Silent Mentor center with Brother Sia here, right, our manager, and she signed up as a silent mentor. And before she left, she actually make a bow to my mom and thank my mom for bringing, able to let her make great vows as well. And she also wrote these same words that my mom wrote as a legacy, as an advice to the medical students. 医者父母心, meaning doctors have the heart of parents. Literal translation. I think these 5 words is really embodies master's mission, hopes for our medical mission, right? So I'm really grateful actually to Master. Just now, as what Brother Huang said, there's so many Dharma doors. Yeah, all our 4 mission and 8 footprints are Dharma doors, and even we have sub doors like silent mentors and all that to let us be able to inspire and awaken our loving kindness and make us be able to make great vows and enter into the Buddha, enter onto the path to and discover or rediscover our Buddha nature. So in ending this sharing, I would like to just quote Master from one of the episode 154. Spiritual cultivation is not about how much we appear to do on the outside. Really, it's not, right? But it's about taming our inner mind. So therefore, we must constantly observe our thoughts and gradually eliminate the affliction, attachment, and habitual tendencies that accumulated over time. Because if these tendencies are not removed, our minds will not be pure. And when the mind is not pure, the innate Buddha nature is very difficult to reveal. So you see, even though cultivate, but even though doing a lot of good, but the subtle dust-like, sometimes the tendencies are still inside, right? Therefore, very grateful to all the brothers and sisters. Sometimes very grateful when people tell us, criticize us. It's really, or people give us a challenge, it's really very grateful because it let us see ourselves clearer how we respond or react to it. If we are reactive, then we know, this is another habitual tendency that we have to work on. Yeah. So we have to cultivate continuously to cleanse the mind, to allow our original pure nature to shine forth. With that, Kan for listening, brothers and sisters. Kan, over back to Brother Robert.
Utmost感恩 Aling Aling. I'm truly touched.
So, sorry, I overshot about
Yeah,
4
truly
minutes.
your Dharma skills sharing, your insights as rich as your reputation. Yes, the queen of education did not disappoint. All of this, I believe, is an offshoot from one Joe Huang. Now we have grown a whole garden of little Joe Huangs, each spreading wisdom in their own way. So thank you for inspiring us, not only guiding us with wisdom, but also delivering every word with your signature charm, grace, and angelic voice. Truly a gift to both heart and soul. Kanan so much. Okay, now please get ready. We are flying in a special guest all the way from the Lion City. Please join me in welcoming Sister Kim Yen. Sister, it's time to roar with wisdom and grace. Kanan, over to you.
Okay, good morning, brothers and sisters. I'm Kim Yen. Actually, I saw the sharing by Sister Stephanie. I was very touched. Actually, her mother is really very great. That's why she's now, what is she? Okay. I think she will be a doctor. I also agree she will be a doctor for her next life. Can you see the presentation? Because wait.
Yes, can. But you need to
Is it
enlarge.
useful?
You need to enlarge it.
Wait. I got some problem. Wait, how to get it done? Oh, Sister Sister Xiu is Sister Xiu around? Because I can't get it enlarged. Maybe somebody can.
Oh, okay, we have your slide. We will share.
You share. Xiu you share the slide. I stop it. Okay. Can. Okay. I also like to thank Xiu Please help to share my slide. I would like to thank Sister Xiu also because thank you for her to allow me to share in this session. Actually, for this, it's a bit. This one is I'm talking about. I'm sharing on this little girl, where we help her to get seek treatment. There are some sensitive issue. So actually, I cut some of my slides. The sensitive issue slide. Because okay, and then so I'm actually in Nepal and Bodh Gaya for since 2022. But then for this year, I have some problem with my visa, and then because of and then until now, I'm still in Singapore. I'm unable to go back to Bodh Gaya. I've tried many sources to apply for visa, but until now still got some problem. So my next destination will be to Nepal, Kapilavastu. So it will be in August. Okay, Xiu Qing. All right. So this I'm sharing on this little girl, a medical case of this little girl. Next slide, please. Her name is Radha, 8 years old, and then she's staying in Rajgir, India. So she had 2 lump at one at the right shoulder, another at the right chest. So these 2 lump is already with her for 7 years. Next, please. Okay, why I have this photo? This photo is a little boy with a big tummy, Sandeep. Radha stay near to him. So just to recap this little boy, this was discovered by Master when she saw a presentation by one of the volunteer. She saw this boy with a big tummy, and this boy was very lucky. We managed to find where his location and then send him for surgery in Delhi, and he now fully recovered. And this year, during the Buddha Bathing Day celebration, he actually, with his parents, pay respect to Master and thank Master for helping and saving his life. Next. Okay, talk about this Radha. Radha is a little, this girl, actually a family of 5. Parents, father is a odd job laborer, and he is a sole breadwinner. Mother is the housewife. So she has 2 sisters, age of 6 and 3. Next. Okay. So her infinity with Tzu is for during last year, our Buddha's bathing ceremony at Rajgir, means the Vulture Peak, Ling Chiu's son. A volunteer brought her to meet our VP Lin. Okay, next. So on June last year, she had a CT scan done and then shown that she has soft tissue liposarcoma. Liposarcoma means it's cancer. That means she has soft tissue liposarcoma cancer. Next. Okay, so I sent this report for a senior plastic surgeon in Singapore to view for review for consultation, and then based on this scan, he recommended radiation and chemotherapies. Next. So this just to show you, we actually brought Radha to 2 cities. One is A, the Patna, another one is the E, Varanasi. So our location office is at Budigaya. So from B to A, the travel distance by car is about 3.5 to 4 hours. And from Bodhgaya to Varanasi, E is travel distance is about 5 to 6 hours. Radha is staying in Rajgir. So for her to travel from Rajgir to Varanasi, it took about 8 to 9 hours. If by train, it's more than 10 hours. So the traveling distance is really very tedious. Next. So here because of some sensitivity, so I didn't put the hospital name, but just put in Patna. We brought her to visit 3 hospitals, and in Varanasi actually is another 3 hospitals, so total 6 hospitals. Why is it so? Because for the first hospital, she was there for more than 3 months. And over there, actually, the doctor did for her ultrasound guided injections for her right shoulder, hoping that this injection will help to reduce the swelling. But then there is no response from this. It means there is no effect. So the doctor refer her to the second hospital. So when they realized her conditions, they suggest to go to another hospital. That means to the 3rd hospital. So for the 3rd hospital, she spent about more than 4 months over there, because it's to and fro. actually a lot of delay in that hospital. And actually sometimes it's quite difficult to reach the attending doctors. For them over there, it's not like our country where we can make an appointment make an appointment through a phone call, and then we can then after that visit there. For that is you can't make a phone call, so you have to be physically go to the hospital. So sometimes the traveling time, you go all the way and then you cannot meet the doctor, you have to come back. So there it's quite difficult at times that we went there and then cannot find the doctors. And then also after various investigation, and then actually is the doctor said actually she can go for operation, but then she need to do some consultation with the senior. Then he said he will give us, he will call us, call us to tell us the schedule for operation. But then after that, we have not received any news. And then even the MRI report also lost. And then we asked for a reprint of the MRI film, but we also need to pay for the reprint. So subsequent, we felt that we will seek treatment somewhere else. So next, sister. And then the distance from Gaya to the distance from Gaya to from our Bodhgaya to Patna is for about 4 hours. So we have to set off very early. Each time we have to set off at 4 to 5 a.m. in order to reach there early to avoid the long queue. So I want to introduce this Dr. Suwen. He is actually in April, he went Taiwan to meet our master. So we wanted to seek second opinion of brother. So after viewing this report, and then he introduced his younger brother, Ishan, who is a radiologist at a hospital in Varanasi. Okay, next. Okay, so at this fourth hospital in Dr. Ishan helped again. Actually, over here, when you went to another hospital, more or less it's like the whole series of investigation is start over again. They will prefer they obtain the truth results or from the own like if they do a CT scan, they prefer to have a CT scan to be done at the hospital. They don't quite trust the other hospital, so they prefer to. So you have to have a whole series of scan all over again. So after performing the CT scan, and then he discussed with some of his seniors, and the feedback was to go to another hospital because actually Radha's the wound, the lump at the neck is very worrying because it has actually grown over the blood vessels. So they feel that prefer to go to another hospital for treatment. So they recommend the 5th hospital. But then this 5th hospital, because unfortunately, they only accept patients above 15. That means under 15, they can't take. So, but then they refer to the 6th hospital, which is their branch. It's the branch of this 5th hospital. So when also over there, she also go through the series of investigation, and finally the doctor said she can be operated. So But due to the complexity of this surgery, you need very experienced surgeon to do the surgery. So then this case was again transferred back to the 5th hospital. Though they don't accept age under 15, but because this is a special case, so they took up this case. And next slide, please. And finally, okay, wait. This one I'll talk on the first hospital. At this first hospital, next slide, please. At this first hospital in Patna, this was the first hospital in Patna where the brother and the parents met the doctor. This doctor was very annoyed with the parents that why for 7 years they have done nothing until the lump was so huge and become very dangerous for surgery, and say, if you have not, why would you not done anything if you have not met Tzu medical team? So this is what over the in certain villages where they are in poverty, they also neglect their medical treatment. So this is not the one case. I think this is quite common in those villages. Next, please. Next slide. Okay, so just to talk about the hospital system. So each time we go, you know, as usual, need registration, do consultation, blood test, scanning, and also to pay, making payment. Everything we require a long queue. So sometimes we waited one whole morning until when just about your turn, and the staff went for a lunch break. So you need to wait again. So most of the time, actually, we spend on queuing. And then there are some counters close as early as the 3:30. So we can't go back because of the distance. So the staff has to stay overnight. And then next day start all over again to queue for number. So this is the tedious part in sending patients for consultation in hospital, because most of the hospital are very, very crowded. Next, please. Okay, so even for when Radha is scheduled for biopsy, she waited from morning until 5 p.m. Then when the biopsy was done, our staff have to send the specimen to the lab. But then when he reached the lab already closed at 4. So the staff have to stay overnight and next day to submit the specimen. So this is repeating over and over again. Next. Next, also, this is when collecting this biopsy report, also same thing. You waited from morning to afternoon. And then when you get the report, you rush to the doctors, but then the doctor left. So you have to come the next morning. So when you start the queue again in the morning, next day, then the doctor didn't show up. So staff have to again wait for the next day again. So there is at one time the staff have to wait from Monday, have to stay overnight until Saturday. Then he get back to Bodhgaya. So just imagine the staying overnight actually is very tiring and very draining, and the staff can get sick because of the hot weather. Next, please. Okay, so finally, on over this year in 19th of May, Radha was scheduled for surgery. So you can see after 2 hours of surgery, she was rested. Then on the left hand side, you can see. Next. Okay, you can see this big lump. So actually, the the two lump actually is connected. It's connected, and then you can see such a huge cut in and then doctor actually put clips over instead of stitch. Why did I put clips? I think you using a clip to close the wound is much faster. And actually for clips wound slowly you will get much nicer than a stitch wound. So on the extreme left, the clip has been removed by the doctor, but it can be quite painful. Okay, next. And then the diagnosis is she is not suffering from cancer, and it's just a lymphoma, means it's the lymph nodes that's swelling. And then the doctor who performed surgery visited Radha. Very thankful, really commend him. He's the only doctor that willing to perform surgery for Radha, because during the when she's supposed to go for surgery, I'm also quite worried because it may because it involves big blood vessels. So I'm worried that it may cut the blood vessels, but he's an experienced doctor, so he done a good job. So below is our sister Chui San visiting Radha in the hospital. Next. Okay, so she stayed in that hospital for 12 days and then returned home. So you could see both her mother and her was very happy. Really, it's actually 1 whole year of order to going through this process, no. And then okay, next. Okay, I like to share on this red kangaroo team. Actually, we're grateful to this venerable Singhai. He arranging his 2 staff to Amit and Renu to help us to take care of Radha when she is hospitalized at Varanasi, because of a distance for us to travel to and forth. So they willing to take care of her when she's there. So we have close correspondence with them during the Radha stay in Varanasi. Thank you. Next. Okay, so another person is our cash for work Manish. He actually for the past 1 year he actually travel back and forth between Patna and Varanasi, bring her for treatment, and sometimes he actually travel he has traveled very early, 4 to 5 a.m. and sometimes at 3 a.m. and then after that, when she returned back to Bodh Gaya is sometimes about 11 to 12 midnight. So actually, this is really very tiring, because I myself also ever travel to Patna, bring patient to Patna. The distance is very long, and then 2 and 4 is almost 1 whole day gone. So for him he has to stay overnight there, and then actually it's not easy for him. Really very grateful to him. He has full-heartedly all the way out to help Radha. Next. Okay, please watch this video on Radha.
印度这位8岁的小女孩拉达，原本在她的右肩膀脖子的地方有一颗大肿瘤，迟迟找不到医师愿意为她动手术。在慈济志工的陪伴以及帮忙之下，有当地医院的医师愿意承担。拉达完成了手术，如今是第1次术后回诊，她的右手已经可以拿笔写字。
After surgery, she's able to write with pencil.
一家义工马汉都是8岁小女
So
孩
this
拉达熟悉的人。过去1
Radha
年
is familiar with Manis and one of the one of the volunteer
流的沙医师，他是儿童肿瘤
Winfred
外科教
Wunwei.
授。
So they show him the
I feel very
link
good
with him, her.
in that man believed in us, and I always think maybe she's my part of my family.
瓦拉纳西马哈马纳癌症医院的塔塔纪念中心，就在拉达和父母参加慈济周年法会之后，出现在他的
She's
生命
writing
当
using her
中。
right hand.
And the beauty of this institute, the Tata, we don't think about your which background you're coming, the socioeconomic background. If someone has nothing to spend, we are here to take care of your child. And this is the motto, and I really believe in it.
恢复得很好，是医师认定的第一步。6月2号拆线和组织报告，众人也深深的祝福。大爱新闻真善美职工李美惠、吴姿贤、林翠莲印度报道。
So finally, she got her surgery done. Okay, this is a short video on her after 1 month of surgery. She was dancing. So, Xiu Jing, please play the video on the right hand side.
I don't think it's a big.
It's a video below. You try.
Boleh oh?
Can?
Cannot.
Cannot. Okay, never mind. This is the video on her dancing, but the problem of her is that she cannot lift her right hand. So on the left hand side, you can see she can raise her right hand and she can draw lines on the wall. Next. So because our sister Chui San, she's a nurse, she went all the way to Rajgir to teach Radha how to do hand exercise. So then you can see there is improvement where she can raise her hand. And then Radha also also help in the 竹筒岁月, and then she also want to help people. Okay, next. Okay, so for the past 1 year, actually each time when our staff brought her to hospital, actually we are very worried because worry whether the process is it smooth, and then whether will it be turned away again, because it was being turned away again and again and was referred from one place to another place. And then the waiting is also a very worrying part. And then also we worry the staff need to stay overnight, and then is it only 1 night or even more? So this is keep on repeating each time we bring her to the hospital. And then Radha since by several doctors, but then her tumor keep growing bigger and bigger, and then affecting her arm movement. So we also worry whether are we able to get a good doctor for her where she's willing to perform surgery. Next. So master's mission for medicine is to provide health, safeguard life, and preserve love, and always to keep a people-centered approach. We always have this in our heart, because when we help people, we always have in mind to in Chinese way, 以人为本. This is very important. And no matter how difficult it is or how long the journey we need to go, we will never give up. We will help her all the way out to overcome this hurdle. Okay. Next, I just maybe a fast one. Okay, this one is because of her. When we visited her, we realized that her family is quite poor. So you can see 5 of them share 2 team blanket, and it's nearly winter. So we refer her for charity. Next. So you can see her school uniform also not a fitting one, and it's also not in good conditions. So our next. our charity team, next charity team visited them and do assessment. So they provide them with some rations and then blankets, shoes and uniform. So this is my sharing. And next. Okay, so our charity team also introduced them our bamboo bank, and I tell them about masters, how master established Tzu with this 30 housewife and 50 NT 50 cent NT Taiwan cent, and tell them that they also could able to help the poor even. Okay, so to turn their hand from facing up to facing down. This is my sharing. Thank you.
Deepest感恩, Sister Kim Yen, for sharing such a moving and heartfelt Radha story from Buddha land. Your words were filled with compassion, clarity, and this energy, this powerful reminder of how love can truly rekindle hope in even the darkest moments. Thank you for touching our hearts and uplifting our spirits. Okay, dear brothers and sisters, thank you for spending the past 1.5 hours with us. We hope the heartfelt sharings have brought insight, inspiration, and warmth to your weekend. So before we close, let us express our deepest gratitude and respect to Buddha and our Master with 3 sincere bows. Kindly rise and place your palms together. First bow, second bow, and third bow. Okay, we look forward to seeing you again next Saturday. Until then, may we continue to walk the Bodhisattva path with diligence and sincerity, cultivating blessings and wisdom. So, Kanan, may the Dharma light guide us always. Kanan so much, everyone.
Kanan.
Yeah.
Brothers,
Bye.
Brother Robert, Sister Kim Yen, brothers and sisters, 加油。
加油。